Hey, so this weekend it is Memorial Day in the USA, and despite having lived here for 8 years, I still don't quite understand any of the public holidays. President's Day is probably the most confusing to me, but Memorial Day basically means it's a day off work, bank holiday, and usually grill. For the English, that means barbecues outside. And, you know, like just drinking, relaxing, generally doing the things that normal people enjoy doing on a day off. But with people with anorexia, it tends to be massively terrifying and daunting prospect. So the reason that I'm talking about Memorial Day is because event restriction is a thing and you need to not do it because it doesn't work. Don't know how many years I sort of like event restricted before events. An event restriction is when, like, leading up to something that you consider to be a time when you're going to be like eating more and doing less, you event restrict. So you try and prepare for that by eating less. And like for me, I would work out more as well. My brain told me that, oh, so say for example, if it was Memorial Day on Monday, my brain would tell me, if you work out really hard over the weekend and if you eat even less, when it comes to Monday, you're going to feel like you're allowed to eat more and rest more. So that makes sense, apart from, it never works, never. And I'll tell you why it never works. Because if you have anorexia, when you increase energy deficit, the migration response, the urge to eat less and move more, gets stronger. So for example, if I started restricting a bit more today in preparation for Monday and working out more, I'm increasing energy deficit. So actually what happens is gradually over the weekend, my desire to eat less and to move more increases. And by the time it gets to Monday, like, my anorexia is basically stronger. And so I have even greater anxiety about the prospect of sitting around and eating for all day. So event restriction, although it makes sense in your mind at the time, oh, I'm going to prepare myself by eating less and moving more and stuff, it never works. It always just means that actually when the event comes around, you've got greater anxiety about, and you feel even more kind of like fucked up. And so, well, it took me a very long time, probably 10 years, to learn that was not working for me. And so one time I sort of decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do the opposite of event restriction. I'm going to practice for whatever the event was. I think it was Christmas or something. I'm like, I'm going to practice. I'm actually going to practice eating more and resting. And guess what? The more I ate and the more I rested, the more out of energy deficit I came, which meant that when I got to Christmas, I was more able to eat and relax, which is great. So Memorial Day, what you've got to think about is like, you've got to practice for Monday. Start practicing right now. Start eating more food right now. You shouldn't be working out if you're in recovery. If you are, stop it. But that's another video. But you know, so just think about it this way. If you have the desire to event restrict, that means that you're not better yet. When you have the desire to event restrict, you've got to teach your brain that that's not going to work, that's inappropriate. So you teach your brain by doing the opposite. So when your desire is, oh shit, on Monday we've got all these grills and lots of people coming over for food, so I'm going to eat less over the weekend. The opposite action is to eat more, but really understanding the biology and why anorexia gets worse the more in energy deficit that you go, you've got to understand that actually that restriction only ever makes anything worse. Restriction begets restriction. Restriction makes you want to restrict more. And so you've got to see it as like, if I want to have fun on Monday, I've got to practice, actually. I've got to practice eating more. And you will feel more relaxed and more able to rest if you practice eating more. And then after Monday, you carry it on. You keep going. If you have a success this weekend, and I hope you do, keep it going afterwards. Because allowing yourself to eat more does lead to a reduction in anxiety about eating more, ultimately. So happy Memorial Day, whatever that means to you. For me, it just means a nice burger or so and some friends, which is always a nice thing. But it's nice to be for me to be able to say, oh, I'm really looking forward to having you know, more time out. Whereas I know that for years, God, I hated bank holidays because it's just like, this is so stressful. The gym's closed and I can't, you know, there's going to be lots of people around and I can't do my little sad restriction schedule of the day. And it's just wonderful that my brain doesn't work like that anymore, and that these things can really actually be like, oh, thank God, it's a 3-day weekend. Love it. But anyway, that's what recovery is, by the way. So recovery is enjoying your time, not feeling threatened by leisure time.